In this lesson I'm going to take a look at the basic guidelines for making a thumbnail. Let's first ask the question, what's the goal of the title and thumbnail? The goal is twofold. First of all, what are viewers going to see in the video? You want viewers to ask themselves what's the outcome of the video, not what is this video about. What's the outcome of this video will get you the click. What is this video about simply won't get you the click. Viewers don't bother interpreting a thumbnail. Second, giving viewers a reason to click. You need to communicate to viewers why they should click on this video instead of all the others. This is a unique angle that others don't give. It makes your video stick out. Most creators get the first part, so communicating what your video is about, but completely ignore the second part. But that's the part that you will lose out against other YouTube creators who have thought about it. You can't buy an insurance for a video to work on YouTube, but this is as close as it gets. So what should be in the thumbnail? In most cases, not always, it is one of the three following. 1. The end result. So ask yourself, what's the end result of the video or the goal of the video? In this Mr. Beast video, it is blind people seeing again. For educational videos, what are viewers going to get out of the video? What is in it for the viewer? In this thumbnail, it visually shows the end result. The second one is the journey of getting to the end result, and this can also be a transformation of some sorts. In this example, in the curiosity space, the title shows the end result of $1 million and the thumbnail shows the journey of getting to the end result. In the educational space, the transformation is the information that viewers will learn to get to the end result. In this example, it shows you halfway through the journey. For educational videos, it can also sometimes be helpful to visualize the steps viewers are going to take in the video, for example with a schematic. Number 3, the problem. A thumbnail can also show the problem that viewers have or the main character of the video has. And the video is going to show how that problem is going to be resolved. Great examples are the never do this thumbnails with a cross through or a circle around what is bad. For everything that I'm telling you in this training, there is one golden rule fixed in stone that will never change. Always deliver upon the promise of the title and thumbnail in your video. If you don't deliver upon the promise of your title and thumbnail, YouTube will bury the video immediately. Viewers either click away at the beginning of your video or watch just one of your videos and never return again to your content. Both are signals to the algorithm that your content is bad. Making the title and thumbnail before scripting the video makes it easier to deliver upon the promise of your title and thumbnail. The best titles and thumbnails cover or imply every element of the video. In other words, make sure that everything in your video relates to your title and thumbnail. Don't stray away from the main topic or title and thumbnail because viewers will click away. The title and thumbnail work together to get the click. One can't live without the other. Both are vastly different mediums that can complement each other perfectly. The thumbnail is there to catch the viewer's attention first, the visuals, and the title is there to give extra context to the thumbnail. In this example by Mark Rober, the thumbnail intrigues viewers. What is that? The title explains further, World's Tallest Elephant Toothpaste Volcano. It helps to make thumbnails in the same consistent style, so when viewers have watched one of your videos, they can recognize your other videos. If consistency compromises the clickability of the thumbnail or limits your ability to get the click in any way, shape or form, ditch consistency. Consistency is absolutely the least of your worries. It should be very low on your priority list. When you want to include screenshots of your computer screen in your thumbnail, here are some tips. Screenshots look better when you have a perspective, or at least have the screenshot at an angle. This makes the screenshot less clean and more natural. Also, applying a vignette works well because it also looks more natural. But screenshots also need to be recognizable, so take a part of the software that every viewer will recognize. To make it easier for viewers to recognize the software, zoom in the software and highlight the part that you're talking about. So don't use the entire computer screen, just a small tiny bit. This thumbnail shows a zoomed in screenshot, an arrow pointing to one of the things going to be discussed in the video, although the actual text is maybe not readable, but a web developer, the target audience, will recognize that it is CSS. Recognition is far more important than the actual fact. And the face shows an emotional reaction to the arrow. The title makes the story of the thumbnail complete. My dumbest CSS mistake. Viewers don't spend very long looking at thumbnails. After all, there's an endless supply of videos waiting for the viewer to watch, so why would they invest the time to understand yours? Therefore, you have to make sure that your thumbnails are clear and concise. Viewers need to be able to understand your thumbnail within a split second. The most made beginner mistake when it comes to thumbnails is overcomplicating the thumbnail. Therefore, keep it simple. Less is more. Use 2, 3, max 4 objects in the thumbnail. The less text, the better. The less objects, the better. The less there's going on in the thumbnail, the easier it is to understand the thumbnail quicker for viewers. If you can tell a story with 2 elements instead of 4, always choose 2 elements. And even if you use 5 elements, make sure that it is easy to understand what is going on. The more objects you use, the better you should know which object or objects are the most important, and give that the main focus of the thumbnail. Some of the most effective thumbnails on YouTube only consist of a face and an object, like this thumbnail over here. To make your thumbnails easy to understand, your backgrounds need to be simple too. If backgrounds are distracting, it prevents you from getting your point across because viewers don't know where to focus on in your thumbnail. Either blur the background or make it lighter or darker, but also color gradients work really well. A great example is the thumbnail that I showed you earlier. The background is simple and doesn't distract from the main elements, which are the computer and Linus. Creators often design a thumbnail on a huge computer screen and totally forget that viewers only see a really small size on YouTube Suggested or YouTube Home. Make sure that viewers still can see what is going on that small size. That means that your objects, your text, etc. needs to be clear on a small size. So make sure that you design your thumbnail for a really small size, and you can do this by zooming out in Photoshop or your photo editor to see if you can still recognize what is going on and still can see what the storytelling of the thumbnail is. When you struggle with storytelling in your thumbnails, for example, how do you depict a cough remedy when you want to talk about a cough remedy? Google it or use stock websites like Pexels. Now you can get some inspiration by looking at what others did to tell the story of coughing or cough remedy. Some videos cover multiple topics, like a top 10 for example, but you can't incorporate all 10 in the thumbnail. In that case, choose just one, the most recognizable one or the most surprising one. In this thumbnail, "It just works" is just one of the 19 things that Linux users never say.